Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to be back. I'm so excited to be sitting here with you today. To get straight to the point, I thought we could do a chatty get ready with me, talking about literally whatever comes to my mind as well as a few life updates. And I'm already going to be talking loads in this video, so why don't we get straight into it. I'm just going to prep my skin first. I said I was going to be back to posting consistently on YouTube, and really that was the plan that I was going with, except I just had a few back-to-back assignments, and right when I was getting into like editing again, whilst completing one of my last minute assignments, I accidentally spilled soft drink all over my laptop, and basically my laptop stopped working. I got it repaired, it came back from repair, it was functioning slightly until it gave up on me again, and honestly it was causing me a bunch of stress and like trust issues because I had another assignment that I had to complete on this malfunctioning laptop, and I was like, I feel like this is going to shut on me, I feel like this is going to stop working mid-sentence and I'm never going to complete this assignment, or it's going to be submitted late, or it's not even going to be saved. So I kind of took it upon myself to buy a new laptop, which honestly is something I never wanted to do because I was completely happy with my laptop. I had no intentions of changing it, and the laptop just cost a bunch of unnecessary money in my opinion. So that's a bit of what I had to deal with, but at least I'm set up with a functioning laptop right now, which is amazing, and which means I can post more consistently for you guys because YouTube is honestly one of my favorite platforms. I love making videos. It is just an absolute passion of mine. I think I talk about this quite literally every single video, but it's just been such an incredible dream of mine that I sometimes thought I would never accomplish, and it's like I'm living in that dream right now, so I could literally not ask for anything more, except maybe you following. I'm joking, you can literally do whatever the hell you like. But that's kind of like the topic of life updates. My parents are also currently overseas, so I'm busy balancing uni, work, and just a whole load of household activities, cooking, cleaning, you name it, which is everything I don't like. So balancing all of that has been time consuming is what I would describe with one word. Also, I actually have a bunch of pre-filmed content because I'm continuously vlogging. I have a bunch of vlogs, a bunch of videos that I did make. However, I wanted to scratch all of that and kind of like start from the beginning because I want to kind of post in real time. I don't want to post from months before, and just the idea of that annoyed me. So I was like, you know what, scratch it, brand new chapter. We're posting a get ready with me to start off with. I actually filmed a day in my life uni edition yesterday, so I'll also be posting that, and we're going to continue on from that onwards because that's just what felt right for me to do. I haven't actually worn BB cream in a while, but we're gonna put a little bit of coverage. I also was thinking to myself, maybe I could do like monthly chatty get ready with me's because in my vlogs half the time I am talking. If that's something you would like to see, definitely let me know so I can hop onto it. And I honestly just find it so much fun just like chatting about various topics. By the way, if you ever meet me in person, I am the most quiet, introverted and shy person you'll ever meet. Like if you do not strike up a conversation with me, I'm probably not talking. I'm just one of those people who were always shy growing up. So if you come across me in real life and you're like, boy, this girl does not talk. In social settings, I don't really shine. And that's just on a bunch of anxiety, but we're working on it. I'm just gonna kind of blend this in and be back. We're just adding a bit more coverage because I kind of need it. On the topic of just also like accomplishing dreams, honestly most years I reach the end of the year and think to myself, yeah, this is another year I've accomplished none of my dreams, and I can't lie, it does feel like that this year for me as well. But honestly, in 3 years from like 18 till like 21, I'm almost 22, which I don't like to talk about. I hate the idea of aging, but in those 3 years I feel like I currently feel like the best version of myself, which just seems like even extraordinary to think. But honestly, right now today I feel like I've like achieved the best version of myself mentally, because I feel like it took quite a long process for me to get here. It took a good 3 years, let's just say. People always talk about the age range of 18 to like 25 being the years of your life where you're kind of the most stressed about running out of time. And 18 to 21, the shell shock of my life, I could have never imagined it. I could have literally never prepared myself for it. Being one of those people who stepped out of high school with like literally a target to hit, and I was like, I know what I'm doing with my life. I have a 5-year plan. I have a plan A, B, C, D, and that all crumbling. It was kind of like a rock that hit me because it made me realize that the life that I was imagining for myself is not the life I really wanted to live. And because I was so adamant about the targets and the goals that I had set. I had no clue about a shifted perspective or a shifted plan to the current one that I was kind of stumbling upon. To kind of put it into perspective for you guys, coming out of high school, I wanted to become a doctor. That was like my lifelong dream. I thought about it since year 10. I was set on it since year 10. Finishing year 12, I was still set on it, but I obviously didn't achieve like the marks to become a doctor. So I was first going to do an undergrad course of medical science. So I was going to study a Bachelor of Medical Science, and then I was planning on shifting to a postgrad study of Doctor of Medicine, which is what you have to study to become a doctor. And that was all set, but what I never considered was that I struggled with uni so much. I think I talk about this very often. I could never have imagined uni to challenge me as much as it did. It honestly just made me want to give up. The amount of times I have thought about dropping out, and most weeks I didn't even know how I made it. It just still seems so surreal to me. I had so many weeks where I had like 5 assignments due in the exact same week. At times the content that I was expected to memorize felt more than I could ever handle. And my perspective shifted from me really wanting to become a doctor to like, there's absolutely no way that I could ever do this in my life. Like, I still love the career of becoming a doctor. I love even just learning about the human body, its anatomy, its physiology. I was absolutely obsessed with those stuff. Something I couldn't handle was the study and just like the intensity of university. The flexibility that university gives you made me lose so much discipline in my life, and I feel like that's still something I'm still trying to gain back, especially after like 3 years. It's still not something I've achieved yet. It's one of my many goals that I still haven't achieved this year. Side note, the one time I decided to film a get ready with me, my skin is literally not cooperating. It just keeps flaking off, so I have no idea what's going on. But I'm currently what feels like 4 years into the future, because I am in my 4th year of uni when I thought I couldn't survive year 1. And don't get me wrong, if I gave myself that option of giving up, trust me, I would have dropped out. I just also didn't have a plan on what to do after I dropped out as well, so that is what kind of made me stick to it. It just kind of made me appreciate how teachers always say uni is not for everyone, and it truly isn't. For a long time I thought it probably wasn't for me, but I feel like I've kind of finally found my spot in uni. I transferred courses. I am now like 3 years into studying psychology, which is something I could have never, like I never ever could have imagined studying psychology. Like, if you told me at any point in my life that I would be studying psychology, I genuinely would have not believed you. It was not like a career or job title that I ever looked into. I never considered it, and I never looked at it as an option after my first year of university, where I was like, I really need to change courses for my own sanity because it's not working. I did 1.5 years of medical science, by the way, because I couldn't change after my first year. I changed after like 1.5 years, and even then the fact that I was going to change courses was something that kept me going. I wouldn't say like psychology is significantly easier, because it really is not. However, my mental health that shifted with the change has become so much better. When I initially transferred courses, I was crying probably all the time. I was crying over the fact that I literally didn't want to do an assignment. I felt like sitting down and typing up a few more words was absolutely unbearable, and I spent so many weeks just sitting down and thinking, I can't do this. There's like no way I'm getting through it. And I feel like there's nothing greater than the amount we actually doubt ourselves. Like, the amount of doubt I had for myself throughout those 3 years was like the greatest thing I carried with me. It was like a backpack on my shoulders that I never took off. I was always consistently doubting myself and ability to accomplish university in general, or basically anything at that point in my life, because I was like, not good enough, I'm not enough, I'm not smart enough, not pretty enough, not funny enough. This whole concept of being enough is a load of bullshit, in my opinion. There is no scale to being enough. So why do we keep measuring it? And a lot of that period of my life came with a lot of loneliness, because I felt like I was so like isolated with my emotions. I kind of detached myself from social settings. I really was struggling to establish stability or a base ground that I could return to every day. However, probably the one life-changing thing that like got me through any of that was finding a hobby. Feeling bored enough to like force yourself to start something new is the most incredible thing I've ever done, because that is how I actually discovered reading. I was literally out of my mind from staring at the amount of like words and just anatomy images that I was staring at. I was like, I need something to escape. I need something to take me into like another world. And so then I picked up reading, and I literally never stopped since then. Don't get me wrong, I've been in like 200 reading slumps, but like I spent like 2 years of my life reading like it was my lifeline. One year I read like 118 books. I was finishing like 10 books a month, like 10 books a month. I was finishing one book every 3 days. And like if I was not forced to do an assignment, or if I was not at work or uni, I was literally reading. On a treadmill at the gym, I was reading. Whilst I was eating, I was reading. Whilst I was literally in a car with my friends, supposed to be socializing, I was reading. Like that was how I dealt with my life. And I feel like the biggest thing that's ever going to get you through anything is finding something to hold on to. Find that like base ground that's going to make you feel a little bit of yourself, make you feel a little bit of anything, because I feel like in the whole process of that, I was so numb. I felt so numb to everything. Either I was so intensely consumed by emotion that was mostly sadness or depression, and if I wasn't intensely consumed in that, I was just numb. Like I felt nothing, and like reading was that one thing that brought something that like I felt some sort of an emotional connection to. It sounds ridiculous, but like if it works for you, it works for you. And most days I was fighting that demon that wanted to just settle into almost that comfort of being sad and depressed and like unwell all the time. I had to kind of like fight my battle with that, because it feels so easy to consume yourself in something that's like so overwhelming. And honestly, fighting that feeling off was the most challenging thing ever. Also at that period of my life, I feel like my anxiety was an all-time high. There is like some points in my life I actually was like, I don't know how I'm gonna deal with this sort of anxiety. Like I need help. There is some points in my life that I would never forget the amount of anxiety I felt, because it literally manipulated my whole day. Most days, most of the time, I couldn't sleep. Like that's how my anxiety affected me. It would give me like so much insomnia. By the way, I just want to say I'm not like diagnosed with anxiety, depression, or any of these things. This is just like me explaining the emotions that I kind of felt. And just anxious feelings is like something my body's quite consistent with, so I feel like I can identify when it feels that way. At that point of my life, the only thing I ever was sleep deprived and so extremely exhausted. And I mentioned this like in a different vlog, which I don't know if that's a part of the vlogs that I'm scratching out, but I said one of my goals in life is to feel tired and not exhausted. There is such a significance between those two things, because exhaustion is the most overwhelming feeling ever. It kind of pulls you away from being able to do anything else besides those like to-do list activities that you actually have to do, such as going to uni, going to work. The most simplistic tasks, like such as getting out of bed in the morning, became the most excruciating type of exhaustion for me. Like I never enjoyed getting out of bed, and I'm still one of those people. Like if I have a day off, it will probably take me hours to get out of bed, because I kind of sometimes don't like the idea of like waking up and starting a new day and kind of jumping into that straight away. But I'm trying to find that joy in it again. The whole process is finding hope within yourself again. I like to think of hope as like a warm blanket that you wrap yourself in a winter's day. It makes you feel a little jittery, you feel excited, you feel warm, you feel safe. And when that blanket is like ripped off of you, that's when you feel so hopeless. I never lost my hope in God. I feel like my faith and my religion was literally the only thing that I feel like got me through everything. But I just lost hope entirely in myself, and I didn't believe in myself. I lost that worthiness. I lost value, worth in myself, which I feel like one of like the most important things to remember is that God found you worthy enough to be put on this earth and to live. Like I feel like we forget how much God thinks we're worth it. Allah thinks that we're so worth it as his believers to be here and like live this life that we're given with honestly so much privilege. I always think to myself, if I lose my sense of gratefulness, that's when I lose myself. And in moments that you're sad, you really don't feel like there's any possibility of being happy. But like as much as there is a possibility of you feeling sad, there is a possibility of you feeling happy as well. That might just be in the future. People like to go about their bad memories or like their days saying it was all worth it. I don't know if I could ever sit down and say like, oh, my bad moments were worth for the good, but all I know is that it's honestly just making your life and your days worth living. Stop doubting yourself and honestly just give yourself a chance. Yes, that might start with a little bit of pressure of forcing yourself to get out of bed, but like find that discipline and that hobby and that almost deep desire that you want to try out but you're not willing to sacrifice in the moment. Kind of force yourself in slightly uncomfortable positions to find your new level of comfort. And I don't mean give yourself a full-blown panic attack, but like find something that you always wanted to do. Like you might necessarily not want to do it now, such as like picking up a book and reading. Like that was always a goal of yours but never really felt like a goal right now. However, what you can do is just give it a try, and there is going to be something that just resonates and works for you. It's almost kind of like that cycle of trial and error. It kind of sucks and it like takes time to get there, but when I tell you the amount of times I used to just sit there and pray, all my prayers were made up of me just feeling better. I was like, please God, I just don't want to feel this anxious anymore. Just the only prayer that I want accepted is me feeling some sort of like human again, me not feeling so consumed in anxiety, me not feeling so lost and confused in my life. For a good while, that was all my prayers consisted of. And I just want to sit here and tell you that it is so possible to get to that stage of your life. Like it is so possible to feel joyful again, to feel excited again, to feel happy again. Does it take time getting there? Yes. Is it necessarily easy? No, but it is so worth feeling happy again, and it's so worth feeling worthful, valuable again within yourself. And it's not something anyone can achieve for you. You kind of have to find that within yourself, which is probably like the hardest bit. You basically have to take so much time working on yourself, finding, understanding, even communicating what you like and what you don't like to your own self. It all kind of feels like meeting and greeting the new version of yourself that you are about to discover. Sorry guys, my camera was slightly flashing with something. I've also mentioned this so much previously. I just feel like we, especially as 18-year-olds, do not know who we are. Like I feel like adulthood shifts you so much and makes you understand a growing version of yourself that you kind of have to start from square one. You have to figure out what your favorite color is again, what you want to study, what you want to become, what you potentially want your goals and dreams to look like. And that doesn't really have to correlate with anything that you previously wanted or that 5-year plan that failed and that you had, because sometimes all of that just doesn't seem to make sense anymore in your life. My camera is just flashing that it is slightly overheated, so I'm gonna kind of blend all of this in and kind of maybe look in the mirror because I have no idea what I look like right now, and I'll be back. I just added a few more elements such as mascara, I brushed my brows, and I tried to fix my makeup because the one time I decided to get ready with me or like do my makeup in quite some time, my skin is just like peeling, it's dry, I don't even know what's happening. It's just realistic. This is kind of how it looks like. I did spray on a bunch of like setting spray. That's kind of really helped it like settle a bit more, but I think it's looking much better now. Yeah, it was kind of blotchy all around my nose and like this area, but I think I fixed it. I feel like that was such a whirlwind of topics that I talked about. It was kind of like a whole roller coaster of different things. I hope it made somewhat of a sense. Who knows? Because I don't know if I actually made sense until I will be watching back this video and editing it. Honestly, my intention with even any of this is that sometimes in moments that I had these like doubtful emotions or like nothing really seemed to make sense in my mind, I used to like scour social media to find like one person that maybe felt similar to me. And sometimes when I would come across videos and I was like, oh, wait, I felt like that as well, and like 1,000 other people or even 100 or one other person felt like that, I was like, this isn't just me. Like this is literally just not me. And I feel like there's so much I could talk about mental health and just everything, but I feel like we will be here for days. And honestly, if you made it to the end of this video or if you made it to any part of this video, thank you so much for watching. If you want an outlet to talk, always find help. It's the most controversial topic where like people are afraid to ask for help, especially me, but like speaking can do you so many favors. And if you don't feel like you have anyone, you can shoot me a message. Like it literally is as simple as that. Thank you all so much for your patience and thank you so much for listening. Let me know if this is something you like. Let me know if there's anything you would like me to talk about or what type of videos you would like to see from me. I just hope that you felt somewhat seen, and I am so grateful for all of you for being a part of my life and for being a part of this online community. I cannot thank you enough. Thank you so much for watching and thank you so much for being here. As always, I will see you in another video. Bye for now.